Today we're going to do a walkthrough of the Mindshift 50-liter rotation bag. If you've seen a couple of my other videos, I have done a review on the smaller versions, the 22 and the 34-liter bag. I then fell in love with the rotation series in general, and so much so that I purchased the 22-liter and then fell in love with that so much that I looked at the 50-liter bag and actually reached out to Mindshift and was like, hey, I would love to take this bag backpacking on a multi-day trip. And they were so kind of like pumped on the idea that they actually sent me one. So it is here, just came recently. I've actually taken this on a overnight shakedown. And I'll tell you, I mean, it's a legit backpacking camera bag. Like, I had this thing filled with almost 30 pounds worth of gear and food and, you know, probably like a 3-season setup, something for cooler temperatures, not quite into like the winter range. With all of the compartments and everything, it is a 50-liter, and they call it a 50-liter plus. So the top of it will extend a little bit, and we'll kind of get into a little bit more of that in the features and everything. But as a disclaimer, this bag was sent to me. I did not purchase it. However, I am a huge fan of the Mindshift series anyway. Brief kind of like overview and walkthrough of the features that I really like about it. It has this large front pocket here. This is adjustable with straps on the sides here. If I could do it. This one on this side has a lock on the strap, so you have to unlock it before you can adjust it. The side on the other side does not have that. But this is a very large front pocket to stuff whatever. You know, I used it for my tarp, my rain jacket, stuff that I don't care if it gets wet, if it rains. Right behind that is a weather zippered pocket. This can be used as a water bladder pouch. It's kind of big for the water bladder, but it also has a laptop sleeve in it. So some people, I could assume, would want to use a laptop sleeve with this bag. That wouldn't be my case, and I'll get into some of those things down the road in this review. But you could fit, I think, like a 13-inch laptop. It's a big padded pouch in the front here. Waterproof zipper on the front. That's kind of nice. And then you have your like axe mounts up here, or trekking pole holders, or, you know, if you find like a cool stick on the trail, you can attach it here and use these loops at the bottom to attach to whatever you want. You do have a tripod mount as well, so a little pocket comes out down here at the bottom. If I can undo it, possibly. You have like a little pouch pocket down here that would come out. The feet of the tripod would go in here, and then it would strap to the top, where there's some strappy-doos that come out up here. You clip the top of the tripod there on the outside. This is a thing that I probably wouldn't use. And I'll get into more of that, of like what I see this bag being used for in terms of me personally, and what I would like to see this bag do in the future as well. On the top here, you have a large top pocket. Again, on the front, you have these loops on the top. You also have loops on this front panel here as well. Flip it over. You have a large zippered pocket on the top pouch here. I got my rain cover. Mindshift did send me the rain cover for this bag. This is an additional accessory you would have to purchase. It does not come with this. But the cool thing about this bag is it comes water resistant. So you don't necessarily need this unless you're expecting heavy rains. The cool thing about this, as opposed to like a traditional backpack cover, you can just get general ones that would fit any backpack. This has a integrated cover for the hip belt pouch, and also kind of connects to the door in a way that still allows you access to everything, even with the rain cover on. So that's kind of cool if you are expecting rain. The top pocket also is completely removable, and it also has a zippered pocket in here. It's one zipper, two pockets. One is a mesh side and one is a non-mesh side. And there is a little clip in here for whatever you want, keys or whatever. That is completely removable. And the top plays an integral part in the plus side of this bag. So when you extend the top of the bag up, I'll show you how much taller this can get. You pull this up, and there's a lot more extra space up here with this extra fabric that you can kind of extend this bag up, as opposed to that compared to that. So you have an extra like 3 or 4 inches of fabric up top here. And so this top pouch will extend up or down depending on what you need. And so in my case, when I took this backpacking, I didn't have enough room to put my food bag inside the bag. So what I did is I packed all my gear in here, and then I put my food bag on the top, and then used this top brain as like a strap to hold that down. And that's probably what you would have to do with this size bag, especially going into like a 3-season situation. Otherwise, you know, in a summertime when you have less gear, ultralight gear, that kind of thing, you could probably fit all of that inside the bag itself and maybe not even need this brain part. Moving around to the side here, you have a large water bottle pouch or another tripod pouch or a beer pouch or whatever you want to put in here pouch. In addition to another zippered pocket on the side, this is more so for another water bladder, or if you didn't want to use the front pouch, you have the water bladder on the side. That's also kind of cool. We'll get into some pros and cons of that in a little bit. Moving around the back, you have straps. These are very nicely padded straps they are adjustable, which is fantastic. There's not many backpacks for camera bags that have adjustable straps. So let me tell you, like all of the Mindshift bags have adjustable straps. So even down to the smallest bag, you can adjust the fit for you perfectly. And that was one huge thing that I've always found with camera backpacks, is that they never fit right, that the waist belt is like too high. It's like in my midsection instead of being down on my hips where it's supposed to be. So this will allow you to get a better fitment. And I did have to adjust these straps a little bit lower. They come in the middle. I moved them down to the lowest section and it fits me like a glove, like beautifully, perfectly, everything. It's amazing. And then moving around to the back of it, you have your door opening here. If I can do the zipper. And so this would get you access. There's another zippered pouch pocket back here as well. And then this would also give you access to, if you're using the Stashmaster Pro, the Stashmaster Pro has another zippered pocket on here that you would, when in here and packed, you can leave this back panel open. I don't know where the zippers are on this at the moment. I should have had it more prepared. But you would be able to access your gear this way as well. So we can shut that up, and then I will show you the Stashmaster Cube now as well. Mindshift did send me the Stashmaster Cube that fits inside of here. I believe this is called the Stashmaster Pro. Yes, it's the Stashmaster Pro. And this will allow you to get way more camera gear in this bag. So if you want to go on like a day trip and have a ton of camera gear, I mean, this thing is huge. You can pack stuff in the top of it. And so these flaps have padding in them that you can remove out and leave these kind of like folded back and open. So when you open your bag, you can just instantly grab whatever you need to get in there. And like I was saying, this back panel also can remain folded back and open like this. So when you open that back hatch up, you would have instant access to your gear. So that's really cool. And then this can also be used as its own like little shoulder bag. It's got hooks on the side. You can put a strap on it, throw it over your shoulder. It's got another handle, 2 handles here, so you can kind of carry it around if you want to. I like these bags a lot. I will probably use these for other things down the road. But for now, you know, I'm glad that I have it. Jumping back to the main bag here, we'll pop out the hip belt pouch. So if you look here, you can see you pull this tab down and you release that, and then that gives you full access to your little marsupial pouch here. You can pull that out. It does come with a leash if you want to attach this leash to it. I don't see how this would fall out unless for some reason you forgot to shut the door and you took the pack off, or you for some reason didn't have this clipped on properly, or it was super loose and when you spun it around it slid down or fell off or something like that. But it's cool that it's there for protection, and I believe you can just remove this. It's just kind of looped on there, so you can pop that off if you don't want that. I didn't find that, I didn't have it connected, but I also didn't find that I needed it, and I also didn't find that it was like getting stuck. It just kind of like moves in and out and gets stuck, or like gets pushed in there when it needs to be. So I'll throw this out of the way. So one cool thing that's different about this pouch that is different from the other 2 models is that it has a pocket on the side here. This pocket's pretty small, I will say, but you could put snacks, batteries, you know, there was a time I took my buff off my head. You could stuff that in there. It wouldn't really fit like gloves. It's probably like a fist size, like I could put my fist in there, but that's kind of about it. But it is nice that it's there to put small items. You could put your keys in there. I put my keys inside of this bag. The hip belt padding is much more substantial on this bag. I found that it was incredibly comfortable. It does also have a zippered top pouch on here that initially I thought, well, this is kind of pointless because it's kind of shallow and you can't really fit a whole lot in there. But I put like when I went camping, like you could put a map in there, you could put chapstick, you could put things that you need on the fly real quick right in there. And then, you know, when you need your map or you need your chapstick or you need some quick access to something, you got it right there. It does have a little handle on the front, and that's kind of nice for if you want to just grab it and go. Like the other models, this has a magnetic latch that keeps it kind of shut. And then also has in the top pouch pocket here, has a nice mesh sleeve. I already have some lens wipes in there. And this is where I put my keys and my wallet and stuff in there. I've already removed a lot of the inserts. So the way I would use this, my camera would go on this right side here. And you know, you can fit, like I have a Canon R6 that I put in there with a microphone on the top. I had a Sennheiser MK200 on there with like the dead cat and everything. You could fit a smaller mic in there for sure, like the Rode Go or whatever, or the Rode Micro, sorry. And then in the other side of the pocket, I had like my cook pot and my ditty bag, and then like some gloves that I had. And then there's another like sleeve in the back, this like narrow sleeve back here that you could use for a phone or a small tablet or other small items, filters, whatever that you want. And it did come with a lot more inserts, but again, I didn't need them or use them. I just put my camera straight in there and roll on. So let's talk more pros and cons. So we'll go over some of the pros first. So the pros are that you get incredibly fast access and easy access to your camera gear. You don't have to take the bag off. You don't have to swing it around. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to undo a shoulder and like flip it around to your side or any of that stuff. You just kind of like loosen the strap a little bit and you swing this pouch around to the front. And it's that easy, you know. I'll show you. I think some of these straps are a little bit more adjusted, but you know, once you have this on like this, there is like a fine line between how tight and loose this has to be. So normally when I'm hiking, this is like wrenched down because you want the weight of this bag to be on your hips. So when you're hiking, you want this tight, but when you want to open it, you just simply loosen it just a little bit. You can loosen it too much to where it would just slide down your hips. But if you loosen it just a smidge and then open your hatch and swing it around, you know, you have instant access to any of your gear right there, and then put it away. You know, there was times when I could see like a shot coming or something was happening. You don't have to unbuckle this and unbuckle this and swing this around and get into it like this and unzip a thing and get in there, and then you either have to leave this hanging with this all open, and then you gotta like put this back on and then swing it back around. Like, I don't like that as much as I like this. Or just straight up back access bags are probably my least favorite backpack. This is just super cool. I don't even want to take it off. It's so comfortable. But so that, I mean, is the biggest pro to these bags, is how fast you can get your gear out and use it and not have to stop and that kind of thing. I mean, I don't think there's any other bag system out there that is better at getting to your stuff. Other pros, the fabrics are well built or well made. They're very thick, durable. Like this has like some kind of Cordura fabric on the bottom. Like I never had to worry about putting this down on like sticks and rocks and whatever. Like this is extremely durable on the bottom here. And all of the rest of the fabrics are really thick and well made. Like I said, they're water resistant. And then the comfort, this bag is very comfortable, especially I had it loaded up with 30 pounds worth of gear and it didn't even bat an eye at that. So I was very, very happy with that. You could probably put a little bit more weight into it. I would assume, especially given the amount of gear you can put in this top in the top stash, if you use the Stashmaster Pro. If you use that, I would assume you could easily get up to like 30, 40 pounds of just camera gear if you're going on like a long excursion and just wanted to bring a ton of camera gear with you. There are some accessories that you can get. Like I mentioned, the Stashmaster Pro, that's an extra accessory. The rain jacket is an extra accessory. I also got this as an accessory. It's a phone strap holder. So this straps to your shoulder strap and gives you access to your phone. So while you're hiking, I really like to use these to keep tracks of my miles and my route. It can go on your shoulder strap, or it can even go on a belt strap, which this hip belt pouch also has a strap on this side for accessories. So you can put it here, or you can put it on your strap here. I like it up here on my chest. The other cool thing, and I'm not sure if this is the actual accessory that Mindshift sells, but I saw this online being used like it. This came off of another one of my Mindshift bags. It's a strap that has this clip on it. Let me see if you can see that clip there. And then it's got another clip here and another clip here, and then just this loop of a clip down here. And so what this does is kind of cool. So you can strap this, the shoulder straps have loops on them, so you can clip this into your strap like that, lock that in, and then you have this extra strap hanging off. So why would you want that? because on this other side, you have this piece of elastic here on your left side that you can string a tripod through, or like a selfie stick or a tripod or whatever, and then you use this strap to loop around the neck of the head of the tripod, and then you can carry your camera on the tripod just as a sling all the time. So I use an Insta360 X3 as like a run and gun camera and get some really cool kind of like fake drone footage when I backpack. And so I found I could loop that through here and then attach it here, and I could just carry it on that. And then a really kind of cool, and I didn't figure this out until like the end of my trip, is that you can kind of leave this attached to the selfie stick, and then it becomes kind of like a stabilized, almost like a fake gimbal kind of thing on your strap. So those are some cool accessories that come along with it. You know, the fact that you can use this for backpacking is really unique. There's not many, maybe only one other backpack on the market right now that you can use for multi-day backpacking trips. That's a photo bag that you can use for backpacking. The only other one that I know of would be the Low Pro Photo Sport Pro. And there's two sizes of that, I believe, like a 50 or 55 and then like a 70 liter. But this is good for, I would say, 3 seasons. As long as you are somewhat of an experienced backpacker and you understand how to pack a bag, and you understand the gear, and you understand how much gear can fit in here and how to fit it. You do have to kind of get creative with where you place the items. I did do another video of the Shakedown trip and showed exactly how I packed this bag, and then during the video I kind of explained as well some of the ways I kind of packed it differently. Some of the cons of this bag is the weight. Probably is the biggest thing. You know, most backpacks that are made for backpacking, like on the heavier side, weigh about 4 pounds. Ultralight backpacks weigh close to 1 pound, maybe a little bit over, give or take, like 1.5. There are commercial ultralight backpacks that weigh like 2.5, and then the more kind of like traditional ones weigh around 3 or 4 pounds. So this bag weighs close to 6 pounds, which is quite a bit more than your traditional, more like heavyweight backpacks, to say. So that's probably the biggest con with it. The second con, I would say, is the carrying capacity. I know I put that in the pros, but it's also kind of a con if you are maybe just getting started backpacking and you have some bigger, heavier, bulkier backpacking gear, that kind of thing. You know, I've invested a lot in smaller, lighter, ultralight gear over the years, so that kind of keeps my packing lighter and things are smaller and more compact. With that, the gear is more expensive, so it's more of an investment. But it would be cool to see maybe a bigger version of this in the future. We'll see. So we'll get into that. I do have some ideas for like future modifications for Thinktank, and you know, if they're willing to listen, possibly, maybe. So some modifications that you can make to this specific bag to cut some of that weight off. A lot of the straps have these like elastic tie backs for the extra loose strapping. You can just start cutting off little bits here and there as you find pieces of strapping that you don't need. So you can go ahead, cut off all these little elastic straps. The axe straps, I'm not a huge fan of these like axe straps. I probably would never use these or these on the bottom. I would much rather see this be, you know, traditional backpacks usually have some kind of strapping tie down system down here for like sleeping pads or extra stuff. That would have been cooler rather than this. But you could cut these off. I might even cut this tripod pouch thing out and these straps up here. And as you start kind of like cutting things out of the bag, the lighter and lighter it would get. I don't see myself ever taking a laptop in this laptop sleeve. So maybe down the road, this laptop sleeve in here is very thick and padded and it goes all the way down. You know, I could take some scissors to that, cut that whole thing out, you know, and probably get a couple extra ounces out of the weight of this bag just by starting to snip things off. But that's about it for like what you can do yourself to make the bag lighter. If you could carry less stuff that would fit into the top, you could not bring the brain part of it too. You would lose a little bit of the waterproofedness of it. So, you know, you'd have to bring like a rain cover, or, you know, if you're not bringing that, it wouldn't matter. My Osprey bag actually has like a built-in cover. So when you cinch this top down, the cover, there's like a fabric cover that would cover the opening of the cinch hole because it doesn't close in a waterproof way. So there's that. So all in all, I would say that this bag is freaking awesome. So like I said, I have all 3 versions of this bag and I'm planning on using this a lot. Hopefully I can get out this summer and get some stuff, get some trips in, get some stuff going with it. I think it's super fun. I think it's great. It carries great. It's well made. So to speak directly to Mindshift and Thinktank for future modifications of this bag, first, possibly going up to meet the competitor Low Pro and create something bigger. You could possibly create like another version that is more driven towards backpackers who don't want to carry a ton of camera gear, because right now this is kind of like still geared towards photographers who want to carry a ton of camera gear but also go further into the backcountry. Where there isn't a niche being filled is for backpackers who just want to bring one camera and maybe a lens and a microphone on it and maybe one other small lens, but keeping things lightweight and compact. So my suggestion would be to make the internal storage bigger. So where you would put all your actual camping gear, bump that up to, you know, a little bit more carry capacity there. And in how I see that happening, you could make the hip belt pouch smaller in that version of the bag, which would allow more capacity in this upper part here. You could make this part more extendable, or turn this into, rather than it be a cinch, this could be a roll top situation. If it was made out of ultralight waterproof material that is more lightweight, you could get by with that. A lot of this fabric is very thick, and a lot of camera manufacturers use very thick, durable construction in their bags. And I think that's just because most people who are looking at these are looking at them to carry their really expensive camera gear. But what I'm suggesting is that it's more geared towards people who want to take it backpacking and bring camera gear. There's tons of backpackers out there that are also vloggers that would love a situation like that, because right now the best situation is carrying your camera on your chest. And a lot of those bags, I made my bag custom to fit a camera with a microphone on it, but it ends up being kind of big. There's other options out there that are a little bit more compact, but they don't allow you to keep the microphone on the camera. But doing away with a lot of these thicker webbing, you could use thinner webbing in a lot of this. This front pouch is like double lined, and there's a lot of fabric on here that is unnecessary. This could be like a thinner mesh on the front here that's more in line with a traditional backpacking bag, that's lighter weight. You know, you could cut out a ton of weight just on this front pouch. Do away with this zippered laptop pouch. But I would keep the water bladder. The water situation for this bag is okay. I'm not a fan of carrying a water bladder, although I didn't mind it when I took this on my Shakedown. I liked it in the, I carried it both in the side and the back to kind of see if there was any difference. I didn't notice any difference. I would say the only difference is you lose a little bit of area in whatever pouch you carry it in. So if you carry it over here, you lose a little bit of carry capacity in here, or if you carry it in here, you lose a little bit of carry capacity in this front pouch. So managing that a little bit better, I would say would be cool, or somehow add like a second water pouch situation over here. There's enough room to like put a water pouch or another pouch like on this side that's an open situation that you could put another water bottle or something in there, or something like that. But I would say the biggest thing is kind of strip away a lot of this big bulky construction. The straps are great. I would also do away with this back opening back here. This zipper is very chunky. The zipper pulls are very chunky and heavy. For some reason, this is not a waterproof zipper. It just has like a little flap over it, which is kind of an odd thing given that the rest of the outer zippers are all waterproof except for this one. So the other ones you can cover with a rain jacket. You can't cover this one, but this one's not waterproof. I kind of feel like that was a missed engineering problem there. But I would get rid of this altogether. But I'm also in the camp, I'm not a fan of back access bags anyway. I could see why they put that on there. But again, like I would like to see like a complete rethink of this. The rest of it was great. The way this back panel also worked is it doesn't sit completely flat on your back. There ends up being a gap right here on your back, which is nice because like I use an Osprey Exos and it has like a mesh panel, and I use a Z-Pax Arc Blast that has a mesh panel that gives separation between the bag and your back, so your back doesn't get all gross and sweaty as much. And yeah, I mean, like a lot of these thick fabrics are nice and you know, it's whatever, but you could definitely, there's definitely thinner strapping and thinner fabrics, lighter weight fabrics that can really drastically drop. You could drop pounds off the base weight of this bag just by changing fabrics and modifying it slightly. One other thing that I would kind of like to see on the hip belt pouch would be, it would be cool if there was also the loops that are on like the top of this bag on the front here, the webbing loops. It would be cool if there was some webbing loops here or on the front side here, just so like if you wanted to, like with the 22 liter, I actually strapped, this doesn't have a front pouch pocket on it, so I strapped this shock cord on the front so I can shove a jacket in there or whatever I want. That would be kind of cool to have something like that, so when you're carrying this by itself, like this can be just its own little day pack if you wanted. Just some kind of like webbing or something here along the front so that you can strap other items to it. Maybe a small tripod or something like that. But really like this I like with kind of like the thicker fabrics and stuff. But again, you could make this a little bit lighter. You could make this a little bit smaller if you went with more of like the 34 liter and even the 22 liter size bag. You can fit, I can fit the R6 with a lens, like one of the non-L lenses on it, with a microphone attached down into that bag, perfectly fine. So, you know, maybe make this a little bit more squat, you know, maybe cut like an inch or two off of the top of this and add that inch or two to the capacity of the top part of that bag, and then make that a little bit taller. And again, if you made this, instead of the cinch top, if this was a roll top, you would have a lot more space to kind of roll this down and attach it rather than it be a cinch top. and then you wouldn't need this big thick cordage here. This would be another thing. You could replace this cordage. This has like a giant cord lock on it with very thick cable, with very thick cables, with very thick rope. So, you know, there are areas of this that I will probably kind of pick through and cut off tags and extra straps and make things shorter, take off the leash, and, you know, just kind of simplify it just a little bit more. But that's kind of it for my walkthrough and overall review of this bag. Again, I mean, I can't say enough about the Mindshift bags. Everything from Thinktank and Mindshift is really extremely well made and well thought out. You know, I think that the niche that is missing from the photography and backpack world is a bag that is more like centered in between backpacking and camera gear, rather than like something like this that is geared more towards photographers still carrying a ton of camera gear. It seems like even like the low pro ones have like a huge capacity for like all these like 600mm lenses and stuff like that, like these giant lenses. Oh, you can fit all this stuff in there. But at the same time, being a backpacker, there's no such thing as an ultralight backpack that can carry camera gear. And like, this, in my opinion, is possibly the best platform for something like that to happen. Granted, I understand like a lot of those ultralight fabrics, even like there's Dyneema, which is very expensive, and then there's like X-Pack, which is another kind of Dyneema, which is a little bit thicker and more durable. There's even like a newer ultralight fabric. A lot of those fabrics are light, but they're also extremely expensive. So this bag as it is already around $500. A bigger, lighter, built with more expensive, lighter weight fabrics could possibly be, you know, a $600 or $700 bag. But would that be worth it to people who really wanted something like that when there's nothing out there on the market currently? It would be really cool to see some integrations where you kind of marry the camera and backpacking world a little bit better than anything else that's really out there. Because right now there's a lot of camera bags that are like 60-70% camera bag and like 30-40% backpacking, and most backpacking bags are like 80-90% backpacking, and like figure out how you can carry your camera if you want a camera. So that should do it for this review. You know, Thinktank, Mindshift, if you're listening, I got some ideas on how to make this more geared towards backpacking. Otherwise, if you're looking to buy any kind of Mindshift bag, click the link down in the description below. I do get a teeny tiny percentage based on those purchases that you make. But you know, those kinds of things help me stay motivated to keep making content like this. So yeah, check out the other videos I have on these. Check out the shakedown video I have on this bag. But regardless, irregardless, that's definitely a word. You can use this for backpacking 100%, and I plan on bringing it backpacking at least as much as I possibly can when the trips are conducive to bringing this. But this just gives me one more tool in my backpacking toolbox for trips that I want to have a lot of fun and do something cool and have quick access to my camera gear. Or if I want to carry a ton of camera gear with me, I'm going to bring this. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. I hope this was enjoyable for you. It was enjoyable for me to make. And so I will see you on the next time I make another video about something. See you guys.